One person. Faster, faster, faster.
1 year.
We're just getting started. You got 364 days after this. One amazing transformation. I'm Chris Powell.
I'm Heidi Powell.
And this is what we do.
Come on, throw those punches.
You had the potential to be great. And what you don't get is that you still have the potential to be great.
Choose to be different. Choose to change.
Everything you've got, that's what it takes. Go!
Take control of your life.
You've got to get to the reasons why. Because until you find them, you will not transform. What you're about to see will be the most important year in one person's life. What do you want?
I want to be happy.
Welcome to new life.
Tonight on Extreme Weight Loss, meet Jen, a wife and mother dedicated to serving her family and her community.
911, where's your emergency?
As a 911 operator, Jen handles emergencies on a daily basis. But coping with the tragedies in her own life is another story.
When I was 9, I was with my brother watching him. He fell backwards and hit his head on a brick hearth. He died 3 days later. I turned to the only thing that was acceptable, and that was food.
Now, as an adult, life has dealt her another tragic blow.
They are giving him 2 to 5 years.
That could leave her a single parent.
When would we proceed with surgery? And you had talked about maybe waiting till closer when the show's over. You may not have that much time, Dan.
Yeah.
With no choice left but to get healthy, the Powells help Jen face the biggest fight of her life.
It hurts.
But can Jen turn her life of tragedy into triumph?
Can't control my husband dying, but I can enjoy every day I have with him, and I will.
It's an inspiring story of transformation that proves no matter what happens in your life, you can fight back.
Look what I got.
All right. Donuts.
Yeah.
Look at that, Hannah.
I get to sit with Mom.
I'm Jennifer Snell. I'm 42 years old, and I'm approximately 180 pounds overweight. It's kind of a tradition. We scarf on donuts, huh? And the kids usually eat 1 or 2, and I usually eat 4.
5, maybe.
Okay, maybe 5.
Delicious, though.
My husband and I have 2 children. They're 5 and 6. My family means everything to me because growing up, I never felt loved when I was home. My mom and dad, they were kids. They just weren't ready to have a kid. They were out partying, you know. Then things got real bad, and Mom and Dad didn't make it with their marriage. So they got divorced. When they got divorced, my mom met a new man, my stepfather, and said I could never see my real dad again. And I never did. I thought that my stepdad was my real dad until I was 18 years old. Got up in the attic, found my adoption papers. My relationship with my stepfather, it was bad. I wished my real dad wouldn't have let me go. When I was 8 years old, my brother Peter was born. When I was 9, my stepfather went out of town to work. I was with my brother watching him, and he was trying to walk, and he lost his balance, and I didn't catch him in time, and he fell backwards. He fell backwards and hit his head on a brick hearth. He died 3 days later. It was really hard. The day after he died, I made this, my letter to Peter and God. I thought that if I explained to God, you know, that it was my fault, and if I prayed hard enough that he would bring him back and take me instead. And I used to ask for that every day. I even remember my aunt, who I was very close to. She was trying to console me. And I remember even feeling like I didn't deserve that. And feeling like I needed to be punished. I was never really, you know, a drinker or got into drugs, thank God, but I turned to the only thing that was acceptable, and that was food. This represents 3 decades of shame and blame and a lot of pain. And I so badly want to put down the baseball bat, you know? I just want to put it down. I'm tired. I'm tired of hating myself.
Holy cow, that's good, Tim.
My husband is... He's my strength. He's my perseverance. He's my wind beneath my wings. God love him. He's called me super sexy since I met him. I don't know how or why, but he calls me his angel with the broken wings.
I love my wife. From 1 to 10, she's a 10. I'm very proud of Jennifer.
How you feeling today, babe?
I'm a little tired. Not so sore, though. That's a good thing.
My husband suffers from a rare form of advanced rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and Sjogren's. All three are autoimmune diseases that attack different areas of the body. They are giving him 2 to 5 years. I didn't ask to fall in love with somebody that was sick. He came into my life by happenstance. About a year into it, I went to the doctor with him, and the doctor explained to me how bad it really was. And that's kind of when it hit me. You know, by that time, I was already in love with the man, and there wasn't any way I was going to up and leave him just because he's ill. I'm worried about you not being around. I'm worried about you. What life's going to be like not having you here. I need a minute. I just need a minute. I don't know what I'm going to do without him. There's nobody to take care of my kids if I died, if I got sick. I have to get healthy. Their papa he's going downhill fast. So how can I not get off my butt and do something about this? How can I not?
"911, where's your emergency?"
I am a 911 operator. I take that thing that I'm good at, handling trauma, and help somebody else get through something that they're going through, and it makes me feel like I'm making a difference.
Could you respond to 12 East Street?
I'm here in Lovell, Wyoming, where Jen works as a 911 dispatcher. I've already made arrangements with her coworkers. Little does she know, she's about to receive an emergency call. It's going to change her life.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I got a problem and I really need your help.
Say it again.
I've got a problem and I really need your help. I need to save your life, but I can't do it alone.
Okay, sir, just try to stay calm. What is it that I can help you with, sir?
Well, you got to meet me halfway. Because you got to do half the work. Because, Jen, I'm choosing you for the transformation of your life.
You got me. Oh my God. Chris Powell just showed up. That means I'm not a bad person. I mean, right? I mean, if Chris Powell's gonna choose you, how he wouldn't choose a bad person.
Things are gonna move really fast, okay?
Okay.
Right. To the tune of, we gotta get you home, you gotta pack your bags, because I'm taking you to Denver, Colorado tonight.
Holy crap.
For 3 months, okay?
Okay. I feel like I deserve this. I feel like this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I can't hardly stand still. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, Chris, I can't believe you're here. Hey guys.
Hi, Dave.
I had a crazy work. Oh my gosh.
Did you?
You're not gonna believe who called me.
Who? Me. Oh! Man! How you doing, man? Oh, gosh.
This means the world to my family. This is something that we've wanted for a long time. And to see it come to fruition, it's something that will last a lifetime.
You know what this means, though, is that I'm going to be borrowing your wife for the next 3 months. It's not going to be an easy thing to do, especially to leave your family. But this is the beginning of your transformation, and I need all of your time and all of your energy.
The hardest part about my wife leaving is going to be dealing with my kids by myself and just being a single parent. But it's the best thing to happen to her in some time, so I'm all for that.
First things first. It's time for you to step on the scale. I brought it with me. I'll be right back, okay?
Scale.
Let's just get down to it. Jen has to lose this weight. This is not one of those situations where it's like, I want to lose weight so I can go skydiving, or I want to lose weight so I can fit into some skinny jeans. She needs to lose weight so that her kids will have a parent. Well, Jen, you weigh 342 pounds.
That's a lot of pain. It's, in a weird way, a kind of validation of what I've been carrying around, and I'm ready for that number to disappear.
And I promise you, if you do the work, that number's going to change really fast. 3 months, when I bring her back to you guys, let's say this says 250 pounds or less. How's that sound?
Wow.
92 pounds or more.
She can do that.
Well, considering that I haven't been under 250 pounds since 1995, that's kind of a big deal. Gotta say goodbye, guys. Mommy's gotta go to boot camp.
But when you see her again, she's going to look so different.
Yeah, we're gonna get to play tag and all the fun stuff that we don't get to play right now.
And we get to go to Disneyland.
Disneyland. I can sit on the ride.
I know some people that can make Disneyland happen. Oh, wow.
Saying goodbye to my family is you know, I can handle anything, but I know it's gonna be hard on my husband, so he's sacrificing a lot for me to do this. So there won't be one wasted day. And we'll get through it.
I think it was Mom.
Coming up,
Today is my fight or flight workout.
342 pounds. Just feel it.
From everything I've seen on the show, I'm scared to death.
I think you like getting the beat out of you. This is what you like. You like getting punched in the face, don't you?
Welcome to your new home, the University of Colorado Anschutz Health and Wellness Center. So for the next 90 days, Jen's coming to boot camp with me and Heidi.
Hi, Jen. How are you doing? So good to meet you.
She's going to go through a battery of medical exams to make sure that she's ready for the process. But she's also going to be getting medical exams throughout the process so she can see how her body's changing from the inside out.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Chris, how you doing?
Good to see you.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Chris has me on a 1,750 calorie diet. I eat 5 meals a day. And the most important part of that is to eat 30 minutes upon awakening.
So I've got some bad news for you. Jen does not eat breakfast.
Oh, no. Chris introduced me to Jen, who apparently commits one of the mortal sins of dieting. She doesn't eat breakfast. It makes me want to jump off this chair and scream. Do you know why you should eat breakfast?
Tell me.
When you sleep, you fast. When your body fasts, it starts to accumulate weight. It doesn't let go of weight. That's why he has you eating 5 meals a day.
We were in the grocery store. We were really only in there for maybe 30 minutes. And I had 4 options of a great, quick, healthy breakfast.
So here's a really good breakfast sausage that cooks in 3 minutes in a microwave. It's good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And it tastes really good.
There's no excuse whatsoever for people out there that aren't eating breakfast. It can be done very quickly in our fast-paced lives. Today is my fight or flight workout, and from everything I've seen on the show, I'm scared to death.
When was the last time you ran?
20 years, literally.
There's only one way to get started again.
I was more scared of what they were going to do, how they were going to break me down emotionally. I don't go there, and I was afraid of that point they were going to push me to.
Our goal for Jen this year is simple. We want to help her, as she puts it, put down the baseball bat so she can stop beating herself up. 342 pounds. Just feel it. She spent her whole life since her brother died feeling like she deserved to take hits, and she's forgotten how to fight. We want to see you take yourself to that point where you're scared. We need you to find that wall. And when you find that wall, we need you to break through it. If you have any shot at transformation, that's what you got to do.
It hurts.
It doesn't hurt as bad as 342 pounds hurts.
Oh my God.
Come on, you got 8 seconds left. Trust yourself. Stay in the fight. 2, 1. Good. Why are you crying?
It hurts.
You just went 7.5 minutes at a 4.5. I hope those are tears of joy. When you talk to Jen and you listen to her stories, you realize that she spent her whole life being so comfortable as the victim. She's a 911 operator by choice. She embraces tragedy, and it's almost as if it's become part of her identity. So this is the year that everything turns around. Heidi and I are going to teach Jen how to fight back.
Hit me. Let's go. What are you mad at?
Oh, you got more than that. Come on.
What are you mad at, Jen? Across. Tell me what you're mad at. You know, I wanted Jen to punch me so bad, but she was so awkward about it. You can clearly tell that Jen is only used to being on the offensive. Her identity for her entire life is that she's the one that's used to taking the hits.
Stop crying. Start punching.
And as mean as it may seem, I wanted to use this workout as an analogy for how Jen's actually been living her life for the past 30 years. I wanted to show her how comfortable she had gotten taking punishment and let her know it doesn't have to be that way.
I just can't take it anymore.
I can't take it. Life keeps happening to you. Well, I have news for you, Jen. It's never gonna stop. I think you like it. I think you like getting the beat out of you. I think you like being the victim. No. This is what you like. You like getting punched in the face, don't you?
I had so many light bulb moments. The biggest thing that I remember is, when Heidi's hit me in the face, and I just kept thinking, I deserve it.
Transformation is not gonna happen if you keep taking punches.
And I had all these thoughts going through my head, but then she pushed me so far, like I went over that edge, and I was like, no more.
No more! Then fight me back. Come on, fight. Come on, harder. Come on, let's go. Fight.
And that was a big moment for me, huge.
Life happens to you. Punch it in the face. Got it?
Got it.
What's gonna happen, Jen? What happens when your husband dies? What happened what happens,
I get back up.
you don't get up because you're never knocked down. Never. When your husband dies, you mourn his loss. You don't become a victim.
By far, the hardest part of this entire thing is the emotional stuff. It's figuring out how to change your thinking and let go of your sad story that's defined you, because that's comfortable. But it's not healthy. I don't want to be like that anymore.
Well, why don't you choose? Choose to change. You don't gotta do anything. You don't gotta be here because of your husband. You choose to be here. When your husband dies, you choose to live a life in his honor, yes?
Yes.
But a life for you and your kids. Come on, fight. 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 Come on, take control of your life.
I can't control my husband dying, but I can enjoy every day I have with him, and I will. I mean, that's the biggest thing, that they gave me a gift. They gave me the better few years I have left with him than I could have ever had. I called my husband that next day, and I apologized to him.
So, what's up?
Hey, babe. How you doing?
Oh, good. How's it going?
Good. Hey, babe. I wanted to share something with you.
What's that?
I can't even imagine what that must have been like to hear me.
I learned something really powerful. You know, our situation isn't going to change, and there's always going to be sadness, but, you know, we're going to be able to see, we're going to be able to see, you know, the happiness around us. And I just want you to know how sorry I am if I made it too negative, and if I focused too much on that and made it hard on you. As that wasn't my intention, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh, dang it. That's fine, babe. I never thought nothing of that, so I just want you to get better, babe. That's all.
It was a pretty powerful moment for us, because now when I get home, we're going to embrace life. We're not going to be walking around with a dark cloud hanging over us all the time.
Well, thank you, babe. I love you.
I love you too.
Coming up,
I hated myself. I felt so much guilt and so much shame. I didn't feel like I deserved to live.
and later.
Stop.
Don't walk away from us, because we don't want to walk away from you.
I just need a break.
You would think that folks that are overweight, they don't seem like they have much ego as we know it. But it's actually the ego that protects the addiction. Let's go, Jen. Beautiful. Step, 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 step. That's it. Keep breathing now. Keep breathing now. Good.
It's been really hard being away from my husband and my kids. I miss them so much, but I'm so grateful and so glad I'm here.
Here we go. Good job, Jen. 846. Great job.
Physically, I expected to have my butt handed to me every day, and ironically, I did, but that wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was the emotional stuff.
Did you ever think you'd be able to do this kind of stuff? Ever? Hell no. You're doing it. Go. Come on.
When I work out here at boot camp, it's really easy to forget why you're here. You forget that you came here because you had an immense amount of pain that you knew you needed to let go. And so one of the things that I keep it in my sports bra with me is a picture of my brother. And I really am looking forward to just being able to remember him as a cute little baby that he was and let go of the pain that haunts me.
It's such a beautiful place.
It is.
This week is actually the anniversary of Jen's brother's death, and she asked me if she could leave boot camp this week to go to Oregon to go visit his grave. And honestly, I am so proud of her because she's never gone to see his grave. And I think this is a necessary step in her transformation.
Yeah, last time I remember being here, I was a 10-year-old girl who didn't think she should be alive, you know? Yeah. My sister Susie and I came up to Peter's gravesite, and having her here meant a lot. It's so weird because I actually am that feeling of feeling like you're in two places at once. Like the memory of being here. I remember the funeral, and I remember feeling like I needed to stand back. Like I didn't deserve to be here.
I hope you know and actually feel in your heart that nobody blames you. Mom doesn't blame you. Dad doesn't blame you. It's not your fault.
When I started this journey, all I felt was anger, and I hated myself. I felt so much guilt and so much shame. I didn't feel like I deserved to live.
But today, I know I'm not responsible. And I only cry because it's sad.
Even though I've come a long ways with that situation and I realized that it wasn't my fault. Life will always throw you curveballs, but I know I can get through them now.
I love you.
Me too. This makes me excited for the rest of life, you know? It makes me feel like nothing can hold me back anymore.
And I don't feel any burden anymore. I feel free.
Hey.
Hello. Walking down the stairs, I was feeling a sense of pride.
I'm really proud of the weight I've lost, but I'm more proud of the person that I'm becoming.
The one thing that's undeniable is the progress that you've made while you've been here.
Thank you. I know.
So you ready?
I am.
Okay. Jen, 90 days ago, you stepped on the scale weighing in at 342 pounds. We gave you the goal to lose 92 pounds over the last 90 days. It's just over a pound a day. So today, when you step on the scale, if it says 250 pounds or less, you hit your goal. All right, Jen, go ahead and take off your sandals and take off your shirt.
Coming up,
You had talked about when would we proceed with surgery, maybe waiting till closer when the show's over. You may not have that much time, Dan.
Yeah. Life just isn't supposed to be like this. It's just not supposed to happen to good people.
So you ready?
I am.
Okay. Jen, 90 days ago, you stepped on the scale weighing in at 342 pounds. We gave you the goal to lose 92 pounds over the last 90 days. It's just over a pound a day. So today, when you step on the scale, if it says 250 pounds or less, you hit your goal. All right, Jen, go ahead and take off your sandals and take off your shirt. Jen, you lost 78 pounds. You're 264 pounds right now. Why are you crying?
It's terrible to not hit a goal.
So, what do you think went wrong?
I struggle with getting all my calories in.
But, okay, this is one of my favorite things to argue. You cannot not lose weight by not eating enough calories.
And I don't know if it makes a difference. I'm just telling you things that I've reflected on.
Actually,
that could
so
make a difference.
it's calories in, calories out. If you're eating fewer calories than you're burning every single day, you're going to lose weight. Every 3,500 calorie deficit is 1 pound. Did you eat off plan?
No.
Look here, 78 pounds lost in 90 days. That's awesome.
It is, but there's a but.
But 92 pounds is what you're capable of.
Stop.
When Jen walked away, I wasn't sure why, but I knew in that moment that there was something she wasn't telling us.
Don't walk away from us, because we don't want to walk away
I'm
from
not.
you.
I just need a break. This is upsetting to me because I've worked really hard on...
And Jen, we know you are a different person than when you walked in.
No, I don't need to be. It's not about being different, Heidi. It's about being a good person.
We know
When
you're
he showed up to surprise me, do you know what I told the cameras?
What did you tell the cameras?
I told him that must mean I'm good because he picked me.
Jen, you are. Because let me tell you
because this says I'm not.
There's something that Jen just isn't telling us. She's trying so hard to look good in our eyes, but that's just her ego. You would think that folks that are overweight, they don't seem like they have much ego as we know it. But it's actually the ego that protects the addiction. It's okay if Jen messes up. Nobody's going to do transformation perfectly, but her ego is making her want to look good in front of us. She thinks it's trying to protect her, and it's hurting her in the long run. It's keeping her fat, and eventually it will kill her.
I think you should figure this out, and then let's talk tomorrow, okay? Big day tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, after storming off the weigh-in, it's clear that Jen knows why she didn't hit her 90-day goal. And today, it's going to be tough to let her go home without her opening up about this to us. Obviously, it's an elephant in the room. So have you had time to think?
I sure have.
And?
I came here not thinking or believing that if I added things to my meals, that it really didn't matter because the scale was showing I was losing. I, on average, would have a half an avocado. And
Just
that's
250 calories right there.
Yeah.
So like on top of your 300 calories, you were basically doubling by adding half of an avocado.
Yeah, and, you know, I thought that I could make it up. If I busted my butt, I'd still come out in the end, and it didn't happen. I just thought, you know, I screwed up. I need to fix this. And I realized that if I'm going to be successful, I have to say something.
Jen, first of all, thank you. It means so much to hear you be honest. You need a hug right now. Come here. You know, we don't need Jen to be perfect with us. We just need her to be open with us and honest with us. And as long as we have those two things, we can work with that. You know what else I love? You are taking yourself out of the victim role in this situation. You're saying, I'm in control, I'm responsible for where I'm at. And by you taking responsibility for where you're at, shortcomings and all, life's not punching you in the face. You're freaking fighting.
Thank you, Heidi.
So let's talk about phase 2.
Okay.
Jen, in the next 3 months, we want you to lose 55 pounds.
When Chris and Heidi gave me the goal to lose 55 pounds, it kind of took my breath away. That's a lot of weight for phase 2. That probably is scarier to me than phase 1.
But now we want to make this a little bit sweeter for you.
Uh-oh.
So of course, in 3 months, we're going to be at the 6-month mark.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And Jen, you have been living for so long like your husband's dying. You've been living your own life like you're dying. It's time for that to change. We're taking you and your family on a vacation so you guys can live and experience life together.
When Chris and Heidi said that I was going to get a family vacation, it really struck a lot of emotion for me. I love my husband and my family so much. And through this process, I've realized how much I was focusing on his illness and the sadness around that, and how much I want to start living with him. And this gives us the opportunity to do that. Thank you.
Are you ready to live life with your husband?
Yeah.
Now, don't get too comfortable while you're there, because you know us. You better believe we're going to put you through a challenge.
It's going to be a tough one, too.
Okay. I feel like I came here as one person, this old Jennifer, and I have one toe left in that, and the rest of me is stepping into this new Jennifer that has confidence and that holds my head high. And what that means to me is I'm meeting myself for the first time. I haven't had that. I feel like I'm strong. And I feel like this person that I'm becoming can hold my own and even throw a punch if I need to.
And coming up,
I can't have stuff like this in my fridge. I expressed to him things I can't have in that.
All right.
I think that was an eye-opener for him.
and later.
Many times I walked right beside you in stores, and I wanted to say something, you know, but I couldn't.
My father wasn't even allowed to speak to me. I felt a lot of anger.
So that's her. Jennifer Snell, ladies and gentlemen.
When I saw my husband, I just kept thinking, have you always been this handsome? He just looked so good. And my kids, they wouldn't stop holding on to my arm. I could barely get up on the stage. But to see everybody and to be home is the best feeling ever.
It's been 6 years since I seen my daughter, and I thought I'd come out today and surprise her.
When I saw that my father was there, I instantly just felt so much love. That all these people came there because they love me, and he was one of them. Oh my gosh, it's so good to be home, you guys. It was so hard. Boot camp, it's way harder than what you see on TV. But it was the best experience that I've had in my life other than my kids. So this is just the end of phase 1. So I've got a whole year of this. So
Does anybody want to know how much weight I've lost? So I've lost 78 pounds. Hearing myself talk up on stage, which I never do, I don't think I've ever felt like this. And I'm only, a portion of the way in. So I'm just so excited to know what it feels like to be completely healthy and whole. Hi.
Hi.
After my reveal, my real dad asked for a conversation. It was surprising but wonderful. It's been a long time, huh?
Thanks for coming and talking with me.
Of course. Walking up to meet my dad was a mix of emotion. I was excited. I was scared. I didn't want to get my hopes up.
I know that I wasn't a father. Me and your mom was very young, and she got remarried, and I feel that I made a mistake. And I signed the papers over. They wanted to adopt you, so I let you go. And I want to tell you I'm sorry for that.
He apologized for not being there, and he expressed his guilt for making that decision to let me go, and that really meant a lot.
I love you more than anything. I've been praying for so many years for this. But I went and seen you in the graduation. I watched you graduate, and I watched you many times. I walked right beside you in stores, and I wanted to say something, but I couldn't many times.
My father told me how he watched me grow up in the same town. We were in the same town, and he wasn't even allowed to speak to me. I felt a lot of anger. In that moment, I felt sorry for him. I hurt for him. I had no idea that you were even around.
I know you didn't. I was like a ghost, but I was there. I watched you.
You probably made the best decision you knew at the time. And I would love to have you in my life, because I really, really, really don't know what it's like to have a dad. I really don't.
Well, it's going to take both of us, because I don't know how to be a father. But I'll try.
He told me that he wants to be in my life and he wants to be a father. That's amazing. I'm 42 years old, and I feel like I'm getting a dad for the first time. So good to be home. Coming home with my family was surreal. It was awesome. Gosh, I love them so much. I miss being a mom. I miss being a wife. That's what I live for. It feels so good to be home.
Home sweet home, sweetheart.
It's so clean, dearie. Wow.
Well, it's just, little here and there. The last 3 months without my wife has just been crazy hard. A lot harder than I thought it would be.
Well, at least I know I'm needed.
You are definitely needed. Sort of them dishes over there.
That's why I have a dishwasher.
I've missed her so much, and the kids missed her. And it's been a struggle, and I am so glad to have my wife back.
Oh, what do I have to eat? I am starving. Oh, my. When I walked in, I will say I was pleasantly surprised at how clean the house was. He did good playing Mr. Mom. And then I went to the fridge. So we need to go grocery shopping. I can't have stuff like this in my fridge.
Oh.
This is a temptation.
Ah.
So I have to be careful what kind of condiments we have.
Okay.
Same with this. This has high sodium. This has 70 calories for 1 tablespoon.
7 calories for a tablespoon?
Yeah. So that's this is where I was going wrong.
So I'm going to throw this in the garbage?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get rid of her.
We threw out the things that would be bad for me, and I expressed to him my triggers and the things I can't have in the house. So I think that was an eye-opener for him. But he's willing and ready to do this with me and to support me. I feel zero resistance from that man. The thought of being a wife, a mother, working full-time, and trying to lose 55 pounds in phase 2, it's scary. That's a tall order. But I have to say, no other time in my life have I been more up for it. I feel stronger than I've ever felt, so I've just got to tap into that.
Come here, Josie.
I got a video from Chris.
Oh, wow.
Hannah, Timmy!
Look at that face.
I got a video message from Chris Powell. Come here, you want to see?
Sit down.
Sit right here.
Push the button, Mom.
Okay, ready?
Hey Jen, it's me. Boy, it's been a while and I sure miss you. Now I know you've got your big 6-month milestone coming up, and I was thinking more than anything, I want you to have the opportunity to create some amazing and wonderful positive memories with your family. So that's why I'm sending you and the rest of your whole clan to Disneyland. This isn't a typical Disneyland vacation. This is a whole new kind of Disneyland vacation. So I don't want you to get too comfortable because this is me we're talking about here. And that's because you and I are going to be running the Disneyland Star Wars half marathon together. You better get to practicing, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.
I'm halfway into phase 2, and Chris just told me what my milestone's going to be. I have to run with Chris Powell at Disneyland for 13 miles. Running over 13 miles is something that I never saw myself actually being able to do, even though I've kind of secretly dreamed about running the Boston Marathon. I am absolutely terrified.
Coming up.
Had to call an ambulance for the second time in the last 2 days.
And later.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the all-new Jen!
In the first hour of extreme weight loss.
They are giving my husband 2 to 5 years. There's nobody to take care of my kids if I died.
Chris chose Jen, a loving wife and mother, desperate to get healthy before it's too late.
What happens when your husband dies?
I get back up.
You don't get up because you're never knocked down.
Not only did Jen lose 78 pounds in the first 90 days, but she also reconnected with her estranged father.
When I saw that my father was there, I instantly just felt so much love.
And finally came to terms with her brother's death.
I don't feel any burden anymore. I feel free.
In the next hour, Jen gets the family vacation she's always wanted, with a twist.
Tomorrow is the Disneyland Star Wars half marathon. You and I are running it.
Woo! But when her worst fears are realized,
It's a really bad day.
can Jen stay the course?
Okay, watching him in this kind of pain is unbearable.
This is what it looks like outside here in Wyoming. I'm training for a half marathon. Yeah, in this.
It was minus 18 yesterday, and I am now training for this half marathon in blizzardy, cold snow. I'm going to give it my all, though. You know, my husband's really helping me with my perspective on that.
Let's get you in bed. Do you want to sleep with your neck brace on?
No.
He would give anything to have the opportunity to be able to run. So I am going to change my attitude about it, and I'm going to run this for him.
You about done over there? How many miles you got in?
I got 35 minutes in. I got about another 25 more minutes.
Way to go, sweetheart. Keep it up.
The hardest part about being at home by far, trying to focus on myself and trying not to feel self-centered for doing that while I'm watching my husband in severe pain and having that pain escalate daily. It's been a real challenge.
Today's a really bad day. Had to call an ambulance for the second time in the last 2 days for Dan. He's back in the hospital. Just a minute, babe. I gotta help them with your dad. Watching him in this kind of pain is unbearable.
Don't be afraid. It's gonna be okay. Papa's gonna be fine. He has something going on, and they gotta make sure that his neck isn't the cause of it, okay?
What if it is?
Then they might have to try to fix something for him. Look at me. Your papa's so strong. I promise. I know you're scared.
Well, hello, everybody.
What's up, Ken? How are you? I'm doing good.
Good. It's good to see you.
I had to go to the doctor because Dan was in 10 times more pain than normal.
So, if this has down the central canal a rod that's keeping this whole thing held together, what happens with you is that one of these discs in here is protruding back, and because of the bone spurs, it's actually narrowing the spinal canal. And if that continues to progress, the stenosis in your cervical spine can actually cause paralysis.
His spinal cord is crushed in 4 spots. It's just all really scary stuff.
We may need surgery on this, and the recovery time will take probably 8 to 12 weeks.
Life is just isn't supposed to be like this. It's just not supposed to happen to good people, you know?
We put the surgery off too long. Indeed, the damage that's being done to those nerves may be, we talked about earlier, that your hands, the numbness, I'm not sure that will come back.
I feel like I'm being really selfish
not saying, hey, I'll stop. I won't finish this and you can go do the surgery because his pain level is so high. I don't know how he can hold out. And yeah, if I quit, I'd never forgive myself and he would never forgive me.
I know that when we originally talked about doing the MRI and the findings, when would we proceed with surgery, and you had talked about maybe waiting till closer when the show's over. You may not have that much time, Dan.
Yeah. Well, that's nice to know.
What do I do? What do I do?
I haven't seen Jen for 3 months, but I know that phase 2 has definitely been difficult for her. We've been talking her through it, and, you know, she's staying the course, and she's pushing through, but life isn't going to get any easier for Jen. There they are. She looks great. Oh my gosh. Jen looks so good, and she looks so confident. I am blown away at how much she's changed, how much she's lost. But on the other hand, seeing Dan show up on his motorized scooter, especially considering, you know, 6 months ago when I surprised Jen, he was running around in the backyard with his kids. You know, it goes to show that Dan's health is going downhill fast.
What's up, Hannah? How you doing?
Come on, Jen.
Holy cow, when we walked into Disneyland, I was super excited, and then I see the blue scale, and I know I gotta deal with that first.
Tomorrow, right here, is the Disneyland Star Wars Half Marathon. You and I are running it. Woo! Yeah, all right.
But now, before we get into the weigh-in, how are you feeling?
A little sore. This week we're clearing our head, at least I am. Yeah. And then we'll get home and go through the surgery thing, so.
We're sure sorry to hear that.
I appreciate that.
Yes, and that's even what makes it this more exciting, is just to get to be here and enjoy this. The doctor told us there's no guarantee the surgery will even work, and he could be a quadriplegic. It's now or never with Disneyland. With a family vacation, it's now or never. This is a big deal for us.
It is a very big deal.
What do you say, let's get down into it before this place gets crazy, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Jen. 3 months ago, when you stepped on the scale, you weighed in at 264 pounds. We gave you the goal to lose 55 pounds over the last 3 months. So today, when you step on the scale, it says 209 pounds or less. You hit your goal. You ready? Go ahead and step up on the scale.
55 pounds to lose in phase 2, that was daunting. That was scary. But I missed my phase 1 goal, and I don't miss goals. I want to kill phase 2.
Oh, so close. You weigh 221 pounds.
When Chris showed me that I weighed 221, missing my goal by 12 pounds, it was hard. It was hard to hear. I wish it would have been 5 or 6. That would have been a little easier to swallow. It's hard on your pride because you work hard and...
You lost 43 pounds, which is still phenomenal. That really is. I'm the one who always coaches about real life. This is going to happen, and we always need to stick to our goals. But at the same time, I've got a soft place in my heart for Jen because she's definitely been dealt a difficult hand of cards. In my book, she did pretty dang good. We know what you've been through over the last 3 months, and we could only imagine what that was like. And for you to stick to the plan, for you to stay the course and persevere through everything, that's a victory in and of itself.
I am going to celebrate because I know how hard it was, and I feel totally different right now standing here with you guys than I did the last time. I feel like a different person. I don't know what more I could have done with my situation. And even though I didn't hit my goal, I don't feel defeated. I feel like I can hold my head high.
So, if you want a shot at skin surgery, you got to get down a little bit lower.
Okay.
So that brings us to our phase 3 goal.
All right.
Just the ticket to get in the door is 40% of your original body weight lost.
Okay.
So for you, 40% would be 205 pounds.
205.
Keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to get there.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
But in the meantime, guys, happiest place on earth.
Yes, sir.
It's go time. Timmy, what ride do you want to go on first? All right, well, you guys get out of here. Have a wonderful time. Okay. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the half marathon.
Bye. Thank you. Good job, guys. Weigh-in's over, and we are here finally to enjoy this family vacation that we have dreamed about for years. And it's so surreal, I can't even express my emotion. It's that excitement of like when you're going to get married, something really fun, and you can't hardly contain yourself. That's how it felt.
Oh, am I happy to meet you?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's hard for me to say this, but my kids haven't had a lot of opportunity money is tight with our situation with Dan, and to see them in this situation, in this dream world, I can't tell you the joy that it brings me as a mom. This whole thing is a huge blessing, and it's a dream, and it's literally time sensitive. It could be our one and only shot, our one family vacation we get, and that is the best present Chris could have given me.
Cheese!
All right, Jen. Well,
or do not.
This is it. So today's the Disneyland Star Wars Half Marathon. And this is finally an opportunity for Jen to have some kind of victory. You got 13.1 miles that way, and then all around. Any last words?
Going to the race, I was a little bit worried because I missed my goal by 12 pounds. I know that the more weight I had shed, the easier that race would be. So I was concerned about how it was all going to go down.
You've been training for this, so there's no reason why you can't, all right? She's come a long way, and I want this for her so bad. I mean, she missed her phase 1 goal, she missed her phase 2 goal, and today is finally her chance to have some kind of win. Let's go warm up, all right? Okay. Come on, here we go. And this is something that she can hang on to as momentum into phase 3 and phase 4. Here we go! Go! Here we go! These Run Disney events are so incredible. It's almost like running a half marathon through a Disney movie. Mile 1. So far, so good. Jen's having a pretty decent pace. So we're just letting her basically set that pace and following along, just going with the flow. Not only are the courses beautiful, but there is no more welcoming a community than at these Run Disney events. These are the kind of events for anybody who's never been active before to get out and do a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, or even a marathon.
The first few miles were a breeze. I felt good. I was happy. There were so many things to see. We were going through the parks. I'm with Chris Powell.
How we doing, Jen? Doing all right? Good. All right, looking good.
I've never done this before, so I don't really know what to expect.
That last mile was actually a really good pace. We're just under 12 minutes a mile. Jen's doing great. I mean, we're 5 miles in, then 6 miles in. Once we hit mile 7, though, she started to cramp up. Jen, you all right? And at first I was thinking, okay, no problem. Let's get a little bit of sugar into her, a little bit of water. We need to hydrate her. She's going to do just fine. Her cramping just got worse and worse. Here. Stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out.
At mile 7, my legs started to cramp up.
Open up that heel. There you go. Open up that calf. Breathe into it, push that calf into the ground.
Chris was hopeful I would be able to push through it. It would subside. It didn't.
Hey, let's go stretch it out again. Let's stretch it out again. Here we go. Here, come over here. The muscles behind Jen's shoulder blades started to fire up. She started cramping down her calf. Her IT band tightened up. Like, by mile 8, Jen was falling apart. How we doing? What's talking to you now?
Just trying to push through it.
And what are you pushing through? What hurts right now?
My knee.
Yeah? If Jen quits this half marathon, she will regret it for the rest of her life. So no matter what, I need to keep her moving forward, and I know she's in pain, but all I want to do right now is just get her to the first aid station where she can stretch out.
You okay? Can you lay down for me? Yep. All right.
When I had to go into the first aid tent, that was my wall, so to speak.
Oh, right calf?
No, this one.
This one? All right. Can you lay back?
If she does not finish this half marathon, I don't know if I can ever motivate her to continue.
I didn't know. Okay.
This is the kind of pain that I don't know if I can handle anymore.
Okay. You feel a stretch down in here?
Yeah. I had to stop 6 times because my body was cramping up. I had to stretch my leg, try to get it to let go. That was what we were working on, and it didn't work.
Reality is, Jen's got 12 extra pounds on her. I wanted her running this race as light as possible. 7, 8 miles in, those 12 pounds catch up. I don't know if she's gonna make it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try and put it down and see how that feels, okay?
Yeah.
How's that?
That feels better. That feels better.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Hop on up. There you go. So we finally get her stretched out. She's moving again, but she's moving slow. Keep moving forward.
Oh, man.
No, and I'm going to give you realistic expectations. There's going to be pain and discomfort, okay?
I know.
I mean, we just walked miles 9 and 10 because she could barely move. There you go. See, now we're moving.
Oh, my husband
does too. I was really still struggling. I was pushing hard. This lady runs by and taps me on the shoulder and thanks me for wearing my rheumatoid arthritis awareness shirt. And she said, I have RA. Oh, that just meant a lot. It's probably my proudest moment in that race. I saw her running. That's something I've never got to see my husband do.
I mean, Jen, the pain that you're feeling right now, think about it. Like, Dan feels that every single day in and day out. This is what he lives with. In that moment, she felt closer to Dan than she has in months, maybe even years. There you go, Jen. There you go. Come on now. And she thought, if he can live all day, every day with that kind of pain, she can push through this pain now, and she can finish this race for him, and for her, and for their family. And as soon as she stopped crying, she started running. Here we go. Mile number 13 right here. We got 0.1 to go. You got 0.1 to go. Let's go.
When I got really close to the finish line, I just tried to give it all I had.
You're doing really good. Here we go.
And I knew Dan would be there.
Come on. Let's take it home.
Please welcome Jen. It's your Extreme Makeover.
Hey, you hear that?
For 120.
They're going. Yeah. You do it. I told you it was going to feel good, huh? Yeah.
He was standing there waiting for me. You know, he can't do a lot of standing or walking. It hurts him too bad. He was standing there waiting for me. And he was so proud of me, even though I finished so much later than I wanted to.
You did awesome.
I really feel like I did that race for him. I know that it meant a lot to me and it benefited me, but I did that race for him. 6 months ago, it was impossible in my mind. I can't believe I did it.
You just ran the Disneyland Star Wars half marathon. So what do you want to do now, huh?
I want to go play.
All right, guys, let's go ride some rides, huh? Let's go. Come on, Timmy.
You doing okay, babe?
Get a cigar.
You need a cigar? I don't think they'll let me get you one. I'll give you a kiss, though.
Dan's surgery went exceptionally well. The neurosurgeon let him actually out of the hospital 48 hours early, which is amazing. But this is a major surgery. His neurosurgeon said this surgery is the most painful surgery to recover from. I have to take care of my husband, and I have to be there for him through this.
Sweetheart, can you give me my meds?
A typical day for me in phase 3 is complete focus on what my husband needs, what I can do for him, because at this point, he's in bed or he's in his chair. That's it. Whatever needs to be done, that's what I have to be there to do. What needs to be done in the house, what my kids need, where they need to go, when they need to be picked up, what meds he needs. Set the timer, set the alarm so that every 3 hours he's getting his meds. Make sure he's drinking enough water. Help him with the shower. All of it has to be done, and I'm the one that needs to do it.
I'm 3 weeks from my 9-month weigh-in. Dan is starting to take that turn for the good. His pain has really gone down. He's feeling his feet. And now I feel like there's this possibility that surgery did enough to give him a better quality of life, that we could have a future. And I'm just, it makes me want to go run right now. It makes me want to do things that, you know, when I'm tired and life is so crazy and I don't want to do one more thing and I'm just exhausted, I just want to go to bed. It makes me do that one more thing that I need to do, push a little bit harder. It gives me hope. And hope really can drive somebody.
I had really mixed emotions coming back to Anschutz for the 9-month mark. In one breath, I was super excited to see Chris and Heidi. The other hand, I hesitated leaving my husband. Hi,
Hey. How are you doing?
Wow.
I'm great. How are you?
Good. When Jen walked in, she looked good. She looked happy. She looked stressed. How's Dan doing?
He's doing really well. It's still really rough, and it's hard, and it's scary. We don't know the results of the surgery yet. We don't know if it helped, but we're hopeful. This has forced me to live in the gray and to find a way to find success in that.
Sounds like phase 3 was a lot for you.
Yeah.
Regardless of all of that, I am looking forward to the weigh-in tonight. She's been through a rough 3 months, and she needs some kind of glimmer of hope. With Jen's 9-month weigh-in tonight, I'm just hoping she broke the 40% mark. That's the victory that she needs so bad. Well, head on upstairs, get changed.
Okay.
We'll see you tonight, okay?
All right. Hi,
So
guys.
pretty.
So how you feeling?
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I've never been this nervous. Tonight's my 9-month weigh-in, and I'm scared. Can we just do it?
Yes, you absolutely can.
I know that I am on the fence, that I am so super close. Stop thinking about all the days I could have just done a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
So Jen, 3 months ago when you stepped on the scale, you weighed in at 221 pounds. My goal for you was to lose at least 40% of your original body weight. So when you step on the scale, if it says 205 pounds or less, we will walk you into the surgeon's office tomorrow morning. First thing, take a deep breath and step onto the scale. So Jen, 3 months ago when you stepped on the scale, you weighed in at 221 pounds. My goal for you was to lose at least 40% of your original body weight. So when you step on the scale, if it says 205 pounds or less, we will walk you into the surgeon's office tomorrow morning. First thing, take a deep breath and step onto the scale. You weigh 207 pounds. So close.
Missing the 40% by that little of an amount, it's just gut-wrenching. It's hard.
You lost 14 pounds in phase 3.
I know.
39.47% of your original body weight. You know, a deal is a deal. If she hasn't lost at least 40% of her original body weight, she's just not going to be in a good physical state to get the surgery. And those aren't my rules. That's the surgeon's rules.
I'm just pissed at myself. Yeah, I lost 14 pounds in the middle of craziness and chaos. Okay. But I could have done better. And I'm not saying that to beat myself up. I'm being honest.
Can I see a smile? Because, I mean, you lost 135 pounds in 9 months.
I'm very
Jen,
happy
we
with
met
that.
day, never would have thought that was possible.
No, you're right. Phase 3, it was like this crazy ninja warrior was over me. And every time I stood back up, I was getting karate chopped. I mean, I'm serious. I felt like I was on my butt most of phase 3. And I had to be tenacious. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and get back up. I wake up every single day with such gratitude and such joy in my heart every single day, despite if my husband's in the hospital, despite whatever's going on. I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. So I'll finish this. So I have to finish it strong.
We're all in your corner, all right? Jen has missed 3 of her goals. And the old Jen, she would have been defined by that. But not this Jen. This new Jen, she prides herself on getting back up every single time she falls down. She knows life's gonna be rough. She knows there's gonna be struggles. She knows she's gonna fall. But now, every single time, she just keeps getting up and she keeps pushing forward. And if she keeps doing that, phase 4 is gonna be a victory. It's gonna be a huge victory. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? What's up? He's ready to see Jen. I'll tell you what, she's on her way here right now. And I can assure you, she does not look like that anymore. You know, and needless to say, she's had a rough life. When she was a child and her brother died, she took all the blame on herself. You know, how the heck is an 8-year-old kid supposed to understand that kind of tragedy? And so she felt like she needed to be punished. For the next 3 decades, she put herself in a prison that she couldn't get herself out of. And so a year ago, when we started working with her, we realized that one of the biggest things that she needed to realize for herself is that it's time for her to stop taking punches and start throwing some punches. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Again, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was certainly an intense year. But I tell you what, the Jen that you're about to see tonight, she's a true fighter. So with that being said, please put your hands together for the all-new Jen! Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the all-new Jen!
I feel amazing. I'm so happy right now. I'm happier than I've ever been.
You look amazing. I mean, I look at this image right here, and I mean, I can't help but think, like, what is she feeling?
Ugh, that's so sad. Had zero self-value, no self-worth. It showed, but not anymore.
No, right?
I'm done with that.
That Jen never smiled. How can you not smile? Look at this beautiful smile.
Well, Dr. B did help with it. He
I
gave
guess
me
he
a
did.
very good smile.
Oh, a beautiful smile. He's the best of the best.
Yeah, right?
Tell me about your biological father.
Oh, he wanted to be here. He wasn't able to be here, but we were planning to spend some time together in the near future. So it's been nice to rekindle that and kind of hear how he loves me, and you know that rejection that I felt wasn't real. So it's been good. It's been good. Slow but good.
You carried quite a burden over the years.
Yes.
And you were finally able to unload it.
Absolutely.
So, hey, I gotta ask you, what are all these purple ribbons for? What do they represent?
You know, it's Autoimmune Awareness Month. My husband has 3 autoimmune diseases, and so everybody came in support of him, and I very much appreciate you all doing that.
Speaking of which, Dan, how are you feeling?
Toughest year of my life.
Yeah.
It was definitely hard, but he's come out the other side, proved the doctors wrong, and he is doing phenomenal. I'm so proud of him.
One of the biggest challenges this year is, of course, helping out Dan and his recovery from the surgery. So, when it comes to your weight loss journey, it was not the easiest. We set out some pretty big goals for you to hit. And
I didn't hit them.
But you kept going. Well, here we are, 365 days later.
Last one.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You guys ready? So, Jen, when your journey began 1 year ago, you stepped on the scale weighing in at 342 pounds. 3 months ago, at the 9-month mark, you weighed in at 207 pounds. Now, in order to qualify for the skin removal surgery, you needed to lose 22 or more pounds. So tonight, if that scale says 185 pounds or less, you'll have hit your first goal of the year. And the most important goal of the year.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, take a deep breath and take your final step onto the scale.
They are giving my husband 2 to 5 years. There's nobody to take care of my kids if I died, if I got sick. So how can I not get off my butt and do something about that? I can't control my husband dying, but I can enjoy every day I have with him.
I feel like there's this possibility that surgery did enough to give him a better quality of life, that we could have a future. It makes me want to do that one more thing that I need to do, push a little bit harder. It gives me hope.
So, Jen, when your journey began 1 year ago, you stepped on the scale weighing in at 342 pounds. 3 months ago, at the 9-month mark, you weighed in at 207 pounds. Now, in order to qualify for the skin removal surgery, you needed to lose 22 or more pounds. So tonight, if that scale says 185 pounds or less, you'll have hit your first goal of the year. Take a deep breath and take your final step onto the scale.
I've always thought my wife was hot. She is hot now, for sure. She finished strong, and I knew she would. And I'm very proud of her. All the hard work that she has done paid off. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am proud of my mom. She lost a lot of weight. Mom is so pretty.
160 pounds lost. And you hitting this goal, it's you fighting back for the first time.
When you're going through it, it feels like you're never going to get there. And you think, I got to lose 160 pounds? How am I going to do that? One moment at a time. You guys told us in the beginning that we get to choose our hard. Sitting on the couch, continuing to gain weight, being fat, being unhealthy was going to be a hard road. But doing this was going to be a hard road too. And every day I fought against everything you can imagine. And seeing that, that means the world. I used to dream about this. I used to sit on the couch and cry every episode, and I'm looking around and I'm just in awe right now because I'm here. This is the end of this part of the journey, but this is the beginning of my life. So I really am raring to go. I'm ready to get out there and live.
This new chapter of your life, a huge part of it is helping other people. So now I want to give you the opportunity to help somebody else change their life. Here is a 1-week scholarship to Destination Boot Camp at the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center. So you can give this to anybody who you feel is truly ready to take that first step in their transformation. Give this to you now.
All right, this is the best part right here. Oh, I've known this person since 7th grade. And when somebody chooses to love you despite your brokenness, they just stay by your side no matter what. There's really nothing I've ever felt like I could ever do for her to repay her for her friendship. And so this to me is huge. And for the first time, I feel like I'm able to do something for her. Mariah.
When Jen gave me the scholarship to the Extreme Weight Loss Destination Boot Camp, I was so thankful.
Get ready. It's going to be a wild ride, I'm telling you.
I've needed help along the years, so I'm really happy to get this experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new Jen!
This was a transformation, but this was more of an intervention for me. I was such in a dark place. I really don't know where I'd be. Come here, kids. Come here. Oh, the ripple effect of this is huge. I mean, it's not just me. It's affected my entire family. My kids, my husband.
You are going to be a candidate for surgery.
It's breathed new life into everyone.
You look so good, sweetheart. Thank you, sweetheart.
And thank you so much for teaching me how to do that. Because you taught me how to get out of my own way.
Jen, I'm choosing you for the transformation of your life.
Oh my God. Chris Powell just showed up. That means I'm not a bad person. I mean, right? I mean, if Chris Powell's gonna choose you, how he wouldn't choose a bad person. Very sad that I thought him picking me would make me a good person. The truth is that I saw for the first time that I am a good person, that I always have been. I don't know that I would have saw that if I wouldn't have went through every single aspect of this. You choosing me and you believing in me and you reaching out and holding my hand when I didn't think I could do it, you know, all of that got me to here.
Liev Schreiber on Kimmel later tonight. On the next Extreme Weight Loss, meet Pearls, the single mom of a special needs son.
You can do this, Mom. You're the real hero.
Whose relationship with food has led her to extremes. The Powells inspire Pearls to face her fears alongside autism activist Holly Robinson Peake and WWE champion Seth Rollins. But sometimes old habits die hard.
No starving. We're not going back there.